Hey YouTube, so I had my guys panel here before and asked them a couple questions about how they feel about makeup. So I'm going to sort of clip what they had to say within this tutorial so that you can see how I kind of built this look off of what they said. And they said pretty easy basic things, but truthfully guys don't notice makeup unless you're doing something insane and bright and like a million different colors type thing. They don't notice it, or if it gets in the way of them trying to kiss you or something. So I just kind of made this face based off of all their complaints and what they actually like. So if you're curious about that, just keep watching. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you guys about makeup. Yay! Is there anything you like about it at all?
I think it can look quite nice. Like, I mean, if it's done well. If it looks really awkward, then we're gonna say that looks awkward.
The purpose of this tutorial will be to just enhance your natural features for Valentine's Day in a sweet, but subtle way. So I'm gonna start this out with the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Rich Mahogany. And honestly, just use one that's close to your skin color. This one is the closest one to my skin color, and it was also limited edition. But I can also get away with toughest taupe, and I know there are women that can get away with toughest taupe as being close to their skin color, but it's just not that close to my skin. So I put on my lids. Now that that's there, I'm going to go into my little Z. I'm going to take bronze. Bronze is this shade right here. Like, that's Amber Lights, this is bronze. So you can use Amber Lights if you're lighter. It's just that bronze is closer to my skin color, so just to keep that up with that theme that I have going. I'm just going to put bronze all over the lid. Although bronze is still obviously a little bit, definitely more golden than my skin tone, it's just, that's a darker shade than using Amber Lights. I suggest Amber Lights if you're lighter, or if you just really want a more gold eye going on. Okay, next I'm going to take this fluffy Grape brush and I'm going to go into Handwritten as I always do for my crease, and this is Handwritten down here. Up there's Embark if you're wondering, so I might mix Embark and I'll let you know. But I'm just taking a color that's close to the tone of my skin, which is between a warm and a cool, and I'm just going to fluff that into the crease to just define it and just create the depth in my eye that I like to have. Where the highlight would go, I'm going to take my shader brush and Kid by MAC, which is that one right up in that corner. I'm just gonna follow under my brows with that. Like, it's not close to my skin color at all, it's just that it's a lighter color and it just doesn't have the most color payoff, and since there isn't any base up there, it's not going to show up too bright or anything. We're just going to do some eyeliner. Honestly guys don't notice a lot of your makeup, so if you keep it toned down to colors that are really close to your skin color and just focus on highlighting and contouring everywhere, in your eye socket, if you just make the lids a little bit more frosty, then hollow out your crease with a crease color and then just put a simple highlight, and then it enhances your eyes without looking like you put on a ton of makeup. Honestly, they can't even tell that you were wearing 3 colors on your eyes. It just looks like your eyes are just more prominent on your face. So same thing with eyeliner. If you're an eyeliner girl, go for it. Just don't go for anything too insane. So I do like my eyeliner, but also just try to keep it very close to the lash line. I know I wing mine out a little bit just because it goes well with the shape of my eye. I would stop there, but you can always go on the outside of your lash line if you want to. Just for the purposes of showing you guys what it looked like, I'm just taking a brown liner and going on the outside edge. That's because it helps define that lower ridge. Just curl your lashes and add your favorite mascara. They don't notice it unless you have really bad spider lashes. So I'm just gonna do my mascara, and obviously Benefits They're Real is my favorite, so I'm gonna use that. And I'm also just gonna go over my brows with my Prestige brow set, and then I'll show you guys how to do foundation.
So what do you guys dislike about makeup?
I think it's universal. We hate when it's caked on.
It's kind of like, if it's too thick, it's kind of awkward.
If you have too much and you just like look weird with it on.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much.
Like, if it's really caked on, it's weird. And it's also really weird to the touch. So, like, no one wants to touch you with that. Which, I guess, if you don't want to be touched, is a really good defense mechanism, ladies.
I mean,
so just
or you can
cover yourself in makeup all the...
Well, ladies, you just heard it from the guys themselves. They don't like makeup caked on. So, how do you get the coverage that you want without looking caked on? Well, honestly, if you can put on your foundation in a way that it won't just like come off on like things like touch you, or if you have a formula that's good for that, then you're fine for the most part. Just make sure that it's not, that you don't have it like too heavy on your face, because like then like if they want to just like touch your face or something and they can't, I mean, unless you don't want them to, then that's fine. But like if you do want that and like you touch your hands to your face and your makeup's coming off on your fingers, then you might want to rethink how you apply it. You don't really need any fancy brushes or anything to apply your makeup in this way at all. Like, I mean, I'm going to show you guys using a cosmetic sponge because I can. Looks like this. A little sponge. And usually you can get these in a bag for like relatively cheap. You really don't need a foundation brush to get this look. What I think you need is like water and a sponge and like the right formula for you, and make sure it like matches your skin tone. I've already applied my primer, and I'm using the Black Radiance Complexion Perfection just because it helps mattify my nose area, and my nose likes to be a little shiny. It's already a little bit shiny now, but it's okay. And you've seen me apply this foundation a million times, our Revlon Color Stay foundation. So I'm gonna use that. And just because I'm not near a sink right now, but if you are near a sink or you can get to a sink, use water. I'm just using like Fix Plus because I have it here, so all I'm gonna do is like spray the sponge down to Fix Plus. Just make sure it's damp. Then shake up my color stay, just make sure like if it's separated at all that it got mixed together. This might actually be too much, so this is a wet sponge now, so just gonna swoop up some of that and just like start working in small sections, just because this foundation does dry relatively fast, but the water should slow it down. And then once it's dry, it does not move. The water should help spread it out so it doesn't look cakey at all, but since this foundation does have like a pretty decent amount of coverage, like maybe medium buildable or so, it should be fine. It's pretty much the type of finish that you can get with a sponge when it's wet, and if you have a beauty blender, it's even better. So I can go over this with my Skin Finish in Deep Dark. There are a million powders in the drugstore. It's just, I like this one. I just haven't bought a new one just because like I haven't even hit pan on this. Like it's just really unnecessary because I don't use that much powder anyway, just to like try to keep from looking ashy. And for blush, you guys know I love blush. I mean, if you don't really like blush, you can kind of skip this and get away with it, but I like blush a lot. So for this type of thing, I would either go for one that's really close to my skin tone or one that's like pink. So I'm gonna go for a pink one, and that is Prom Princess from the Archie's Girl collection. I really like this blush. Oh man, I haul it later, but I really like this blush. I like pinky blushes for Valentine's Day. Is that weird? I'll just mix it with my other blush I use all the time, Raizin by MAC. You guys should know it looks like this. And just gonna put that right on top of it.
I really don't like a really, really thick lipstick. I kind of like...
I think that falls under caked on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like anything that looks just obnoxiously fake.
Finally, for your lips, well, as you heard from that clip, just nothing that's too thick or anything, so ladies, stay away from the MAC lip gloss. Like, I'm really tempted to just like pick out my favorite lip gloss, but for the purposes of this video and everything, I'm just gonna lay out a couple options. There are lip stains, which are great, And there are also the Revlon Lip Butters, which are also great. And yeah, you kind of have a couple ways to go with this. So I'm wearing the baby lips right now. It adds just like a little bit of color, but it's not super noticeable. And this one smells like Grape Pixie 6, and it's also and it's in the color Grapevine. So that's kind of what it looks like on my lips. And I've also been using this as my lip balm because I love it. Also, you can use the Clinique Almost Lipstick in Black Honey, which is very, 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 very similar to the Revlon Lip Butter and Fig Jam, which would be like my top choice, honestly. So I'm gonna put that on over it. As you can see, it didn't really add a ton of color at all. It's just that it's still there, and it just gives the face like more of a muted type of effect. Or you could go with more of a stain. This is my Tarte Lip Surgence. It's supposed to be a lip tint, and this is in Lively. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pat this on. And it just gives like a really pretty pink tint, and this is like my favorite thing ever. And all I'm going to do about it is take like a little cotton round and just take off any extra. And it leaves a little bit of a mark, but nothing too crazy. And like a million kisses later, you only see like one of those. So, and your lips are still like a really nice, natural looking pink color. So I like that. There's also the YSL Glossy Glossy Stains. There we go, that's what they're called. And this is the shade 15. And this is also a really good stain. It like locks in there and also makes your lips really glossy. Now this one is a little bit trickier to deal with because it has that gloss on it. So it is a little bit sticky at first. So what you're gonna do, same thing, to try to take like the glossy off. So you're left with the color. And the kiss marks right there, you don't really see it. So like once you get like the gloss off of it, it makes for a really nice lip stain. And I also like to layer those two because they kind of play off each other nicely. Those are pretty much my lip options, like stains and like balms that have a little hint of color and don't like taste like poison and waxy.
I mean, I'd rather see your natural beauty instead of like added on stuff.
Makeup, it's like, I would, you know, it's like kind of like what kind of said.
Yeah, like what he's saying, like it makes certain features pop out. That's kind of nice. I like pretty colors, so I do like it when it's kind of pretty and it goes well.
There's a time where, you know, you can stand back and admit, you know, it's like when makeup is done right, it does, I like the most about makeup is like, if done right, it really does make certain features in somebody pop out.
So that's it for my Valentine's Day date friendly look, and until next time, stay beautiful inside and out. Bye!